Hey guys, good evening. It is John C. Morley here, serial entrepreneur. Hopefully, you are enjoying the holidays with friends, family, and different people you're deciding to gather with during this wonderful season. Before I get the show started, first of all, I want to say thank you to all of you because today, December 28th, starts our fourth season. That means in just a few days, we're going to be officially celebrating the show being 3 years young. But the reason that we go right into season four right now is because this season starts with Saturday, and then we only have a couple days. That's like 4 days, including today. And then on Wednesday, we're already into the next year. So we figured, why not make this be the first day for season four. And we've got a lot of great things happening in season four. First thing I want to tell you is that all of our shows will be at least 29 minutes. And sometimes when we have guests, it'll be like 58 or 59 minutes. So that's a big difference from our typical 15 minutes. And there's a few reasons we're doing that. But I do want to invite you guys to get something delicious, something warm, something cold, something sweet, or maybe something just healthy from your kitchen. So go ahead and run and do that right now. And I'm going to kick the show off. But before I do, I want to let you know what today's topic is, which is actually the master topic for the week, in case you guys didn't know. The master topic, ladies and gentlemen, for this week is From Reflection to Mastery, Building Momentum for a Bold 2025 series for show one, episode number one. Wow. That's a pretty amazing thing. So let's kick this off, everyone. So tonight, I'm focusing on creating momentum for a transformative 2025. In this episode, myself, you know who I am. I'm John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur, podcast host, and podcast coach. I'm going to guide you through powerful tools for reflection, renewal, and planning. You're going to discover how to draw meaningful lessons from your past, recharge your energy, and reignite your passions for life's possibilities. Together, we're going to set the stage for a year that aligns with your dreams, values, your promises, and goals, and prepare for actionable insights and deep inspiration to help you unlock your potential. So let's take this journey together toward growth and achievement. Is everyone ready? All right. So, first thing is reflecting on successes and challenges. So, taking a comprehensive look at the past year is essential for growth. Understanding that it's important to evaluate your accomplishments and your challenges with honesty and perspective. Reflecting helps you see what you've achieved and what obstacles taught you. Learn why understanding your journey is the first step toward crafting an intentional and successful future. So let's just take a few moments here and I'll break down some of mine. So, one thing this year in reflecting on a lot of successes, one thing would be the fact that, being a writer and a content creator, my content has reached more and more people. Another very big success that I am so happy to share is that we are now on TikTok. We've been on TikTok this Saturday, I believe, makes a full week. So we are very grateful to be on TikTok with our show. And, we have lots of other great content. And we're going to be streaming other programs to TikTok that we don't put other places. So I think you guys are really going to appreciate, what we're doing and why we're doing certain things. So these successes are helping me to understand that, in order to push forward more, I've got to do things that I am basically uncomfortable with. So I've got to practice doing exactly what I say, getting comfortable being uncomfortable. I was just talking about getting a new event marketed and getting people to attend for next year. We have two. One is an AI event that I'm putting together for balancing healthcare and the perspectives and understanding basically the legalities, compliance, as well as the ethics and the technology and security behind artificial intelligence in the healthcare world. Another one, I've been doing STEM for a long time. Well, now we're going to be doing STEM with the fact that it's going to be about getting people to actually learn something with workbooks, not just simple learning. So it's going to be a lot more involved. And the program was actually backed by the American Society's Teachers Association. So that's a really, really cool thing. And one of the things that I'm working toward is that every day I'm going to be doing something different, like posting in different places. So when I write out my promises, which I'm probably going to do tomorrow, Sunday or Monday, and put down clearly what I'm looking for let's say the week, we'll say the month, the quarter, and we'll say the year. What are those promises that I want to achieve? And I'll share some of those as I'm going through them. So you've got to take time to do this. Reflecting helps you see what you've achieved and what obstacles have taught you. So seeing this and understanding it is key, but it doesn't just happen by osmosis, meaning that it doesn't just happen by you being here. You have to consciously reflect on the success. And if there's some things that were not successful, well, think about why they weren't successful and what you could do to change them. Einstein said something a long time ago. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. So guess what? When we do the same thing over and over again and we expect different results, that's insanity. So we need to change something. Maybe it's one thing, maybe it's two things, and then observe what the outcome is like. I think that's an important key, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so moving on with these great topics. Number 2, identify the lessons that you learned. Each experience, good or bad, holds a valuable lesson. And exploring how to extract wisdom from your triumphs and setbacks, turning them into stepping stones for progress, is key. So the point emphasizes the fact that importance of being mindful in the moment and intentional about learning from every situation to build a better path forward. I'm going to give you an example. So several months ago, I was invited to lunch by someone. I'm not going to mention who. That's not important. And when I went to lunch, my intention of going there was meeting the person and believing that that person really could help me. Now, that was what I had expected. I mean, the person invited me to lunch, and I get there. And first of all, I am overdressed. Now, I always go with at least business casual or a jacket, no tie. And I figured this instance, I would wear a jacket, no tie. That would be similar to what he'd be wearing. And he comes to the meeting with a warm suit. Now, he doesn't tell me he's coming to the meeting with a warm suit. So I feel a little bit like a schmuck because I've, dressed a little bit upscale, and I didn't mean to do that to upstage him, but that's just what happened. He didn't tell me that it was a casual meeting. And so after we're talking for a little while, he's trying to get me to join one of his groups and give him a check for like $10,000 and telling me that he'll help me and all this other stuff. But what I learned was that what I perceived about him originally wasn't true. And the reason is because I didn't get to know the person. When I got to know the person, I realized that he was just out for what I could do for him. Now, that's not saying that everyone does that, but that says to me, hey, John, before you invest your time, whether it's in something for profit, not for profit, you got to make sure that that time you're putting down is going to be meaningful and that it's going to help not just the people, but it's going to help you as well. And so the only way he said he was going to help me was by forking over $10,000. And I wasn't really keen with the idea because I didn't really think the board had a lot to bring to me at the current time. And so if he was really this powerful, why didn't he just help me from the get-go? Why is he putting a price tag on something? So I learned that just because someone invites you to lunch or just because someone's nice to you doesn't mean that they're going to help you. All right. And so you can be nice to people, but don't expect that they're going to help you because they might be looking for something for themselves, unfortunately, gentlemen. So that is the truth there. So knowing this and understanding the lesson, I now know in the future that I have to approach this differently. I asked several people for recommendations for something that I'm doing, and everyone got back to me except for one person. Now, this one person, I'm not going to mention the person's name, but this one person always calls me and I'm always there for them. But then when I need something, it's like they don't always make the time to do it unless they need me for something. So what that taught me is in 2025, I'm not asking for that person for referrals. I'm going to ask that person for very little and eventually ask them for nothing. Number three, recharging mentally, emotionally, and physically. So renewal is a key to entering a new year with clarity and energy. So understanding how we can rejuvenate the mind, we can do meditation, we can just practice being in the moment. One great way is to close your eyes and count backwards from 500 to 1 or 300 to 1. And as you do this, you're going to notice that as you do this and relax, maybe put some relaxing music on while you're doing it, you're going to notice that you might, forget where you are, or maybe you'll forget a number or several numbers. And then when you come back, you think you're at one place, but you don't really realize that you've lost track of where you were, but you just keep getting let's just say deep in the present moment, but you forget everything else. So that's a really cool thing. So we can rejuvenate our mind and body and spirit in so many different ways. We can do exercises, right? We can make sure we have plenty of good water. I like RO water, but you can drink other water if you'd like. Prioritizing the balance in life, um, and the balance between your work and life balance, right? Making space for the energy you need to achieve your promises or goals. Now, a lot of people out there, I've learned, are really gung ho when they know you're doing something. So, one thing you want to do is maybe not share what you're doing. And if they find out what you're doing and they're not supportive, well, then just say goodbye. You've heard me say this before. Say goodbye. So many people out there are not there to help you. And I don't say this in a bad way. I say this because these people are hoping that you're going to put more emphasis on them than on you, and that you're going to neglect yourself. In 2025, I don't want you to neglect yourself. I want you to help others. I want you to be kind and hospitable, but I don't want you to do that at the price of you neglecting your own health, uh, or even your own, let's say, fun from wanting to do something or not wanting to do something. So, recharging mentally, you can relax, you can go out to dinner, you can drink lots of water. These are important things you can do. You can get involved with a hobby, um, and that can help as well. All right. So number four, ladies and gentlemen, you ready for number four? Number four is reigniting passion and motivation. So a lot of times people are, running really fast down, let's say, a runway or, a track, and then they lose steam in the middle of the race. But reigniting that fire is critical for your success. So, diving into strategies for reconnecting with what drives you, whether it's rediscovering your purpose, setting new passions or new promises to yourself, or surrounding yourself with people who uplift and inspire you. Remember that if you do not feel compelled or driven towards something, your why is not loud enough. When I say not loud enough, I don't actually mean the sound of it, I mean the energy from it is not enough. So you need to figure something else that you want to do. Passion fuels success. And it's this that will show us to keep moving forward and burning brightly. When we think about success in our lives, right, we think about success for the moment, but do we keep thinking about sustainability of success? Do we do what we want to do because it's what we want? Or are we doing it because somebody else told us that's probably what you should be doing? That's probably the kind of career you should have. That's probably the kind of relationships you should be in. That's probably the book you should read. That's probably the type of activity you should do, like sports. Or that's probably the food you should eat. Well, who are these people to tell you that it's probably? What do they do? Do you get into their business and tell them that they should probably eat this or probably eat that? No, you might make a recommendation once in a while. But remember, you is you. And treat yourself with that individuality. Treat yourself, your body, your mind with respect. Don't let anyone else rain on your parade. I really mean this. Sometimes there are people out there that are very good at making you feel like a schmuck, that make you feel like, you're not giving enough. Trust me, you're giving plenty. Setting the stage for a purposeful and aligned year of success in 2025, it starts right now with you coming up with the clarity and the intentions that you want. Okay. Remember, walking through how this works is really a vision your mind. Picture where you want to go next year. If you go there in the mind and feel it, you will eventually go there in the body. Remember, it's got to align with your values and your long-term promises or goals. So, from practical promise or goal setting, um, frameworks are important to strategize for staying adaptable. Focusing on designing a life that resonates with who you are and who you want to become. I think that's something that a lot of people miss because they feel that if they listen to everyone else, even if it's not what they want, they'll eventually just grow to love it. Well, that might be true for a short period of time, but then after that, you're going to become bored and you're going to hate what you do. So I want you to love your life. I want you to see your work, the things you create, as a joy, not as something you have to do. When you do that, you'll never work a day in your life. Like I never work a day in my life. I just love playfully creating. Okay. Number 6, the role of gratitude in reflection and preparation. So, gratitude is more than a feel good practice, it's a tool for mindset transformation. Discovering how we can cultivate gratitude can shift our own perspectives, increase our resilience so we can bounce back, and enhance our ability to attract positive outcomes. It's almost like taking a magnet, right? You put the magnet in the right direction, right? And the north and south just they basically one way will pull, right? So if you have a north magnet and a north magnet, what's going to happen, right? So north and north, north and south are gonna go together. So what happens when you put together? Or I should ask you this question: what happens, okay, if you stick a north side magnet with a south side magnet? What is going to happen? Let's think about that for a moment. If you stick a north side of magnet with a south side of the magnet, they will attract, right? But if you take a north to north, they are going to repel. So when we get our mind in the right alignment, we will attract into our life. So, how do you do this? I think the first thing is to be grateful for what you have. It's okay to focus on what you have and also to say, I don't have it yet. And I'm working every day to build skills to reach my promises or goals. So, just like that magnet, right? If we just took the magnets out of a package and we just hope they stuck together, well, we probably would find out that eventually, if we push them, they would all go the right way. But our life's not like magnets, okay? Our life doesn't just flip around north to south, right? From north to north, north to south. It doesn't happen like that. We usually run into some type of a challenge. And that challenge will either impel us to go forward or it will repel us to go backward. And I think that is a big problem. But the message here is to be grateful for the things you have every single day in your life. I don't care whether it's something as small as just maybe the clothes on your back or the importance of being alive and being able to take a breath every day and thanking our creator for being here for another wonderful day. Um, Actual insights about gratitude start with a daily practice. One thing I like to do is take a gratitude rock, which I like a green rock, but you can get any rock you want. Use a smooth one. You can put it in your pocket. Now, if you don't have a rock, you can use your gratitude watch. And every time you take off your watch at night, you're going to go through several things. I call it John's alphabet of gratitude. You can start with A. You don't have to go all the way to Z. Maybe you go A through C. And I could take three things like A. I'm so happy and grateful for all the abundance I have in my life, and really feel that. B, I'm so happy and grateful for um, the beautiful sights I get to see every day from my eyes. C, I'm so happy and grateful for the control I have to reach my desires. Yeah, that works. So it's one thing to say something, it's another to actually feel it. So if you feel it, then you'll manifest it. But if you don't feel it, it's like, oh, it's just like just saying things over and over again. If you just say things over and over again, guess what's going to happen? Absolutely nothing. Just a lot of frustration. So balancing reflection with action oriented planning is key. Reflection without action can leave you stagnant, while action without reflection can lead to chaos. Let me say that again. Balancing reflection with action oriented planning is key. So, reflection without action can leave you stagnant, while action without reflection can lead to chaos. So, you reflect, okay, but then you've got to take a step, okay? If you act and you don't reflect, you're going to be making the wrong action choices. So, we could tie everything together by understanding that we have to blend our introspection and our outside with decisive planning. Creating actionable steps will transform your insights into tangible progress. Don't expect the Mona Lisa or Rome to be built in one day, because it's not going to be built in one day. So as we move closer into 2025, I think the real important thing is to embrace who we are as a person. Okay. Embrace the spirit of our lives. Reflect on the success and the challenges. Identify those lessons. And then what was it in those lessons that we could apply so we don't do that again? Or do it again if it worked well, knowing that we need to recharge and take care of our body. Sometimes we push ourselves. I mean, that can happen. But don't make a habit of pushing yourself, because that's not good for you mentally, physically, or spiritually. Reigniting passion and motivation is important. If you lose steam, that can happen. So you have to reignite who you are, what you're doing, and to get that fire back up. The best way I can describe this is a fire in the fireplace. Okay. If you start a typical fire, and I'm not talking one of these gas fired fireplaces, I'm talking about one that you actually light. So typically we would put, I think when we did this all the time, we would always put uh, newspaper underneath. We would put newspaper underneath. If we didn't have kindling, we would put newspaper underneath. And then we'd put the smaller wood, like the kindling. And then on top of that, we'd put the logs. We would light usually the different corners in the center, all the different paper. And then within a couple seconds, the newspaper would start to get on fire. And then when that happened, it would get up to the dry wood, and that would start to spark. That would then get on fire. And then within a few minutes, the log would start to burn. So when that fire dwindles down, which can happen 10, 11 o'clock at night, which would happen a lot of times, there's a couple things you can do when it's starting to, burn low. So you could take your bellow, which is a piece of equipment that you have to basically, you basically push it in to get air, and you pull it out, you push it in, it pushes air. And so that can kind of stoke the fire a little more. But what happens if there's no wood left? Like if it's just like a little flame, but there's nothing. So then you've got to put more wood on the fire. When we figure out what our wood is, we will burn more. And I don't mean that in a bad way, I mean that in a good way. So we have to keep doing things that are going to keep our fire burning, a fire that is going to keep us successful, that's going to keep us in alignment. This is really key, ladies and gentlemen. And people say, "Oh, John, I'm tired." Well, success doesn't care if you're tired. Okay. So I'm not saying to burn yourself out, but there's a difference between being tired and being well overworked. Okay. So being tired is just you starting to feel tired. Don't give up then. Okay. Or don't give up because you're mentally tired. All right. You have to keep doing these. Even if you have a rest and you come back, it's very important to understand that rest will help you. Unfortunately, gentlemen, you know what happens? Well, what happens is your life is being put on hold because you're telling yourself you're tired. I think that is a challenge for a lot of people. And so I want to encourage you as we get closer to New Year's and the brand new 2025 to figure out what lights you up. And if you don't know, take some time to figure it out. All right, everyone. I'll catch you on another episode real soon. Be well, everyone. Take care.